Hi guys and welcome to my channel. Today is the day when I answer your question. Well, I'm not sure if it's your question, it's probably more my question, but it all started a year ago. Let me tell you a story. I went to Spain and I got myself my first Springbok puzzle. I came home, I assembled it, I liked it, but it was not what people described it to be. So it got me wondering what was different with my puzzle than with the other puzzle. So then I posted about it and people actually commented that the old Springbok puzzle is better than the new one, and I had the new one. So this is the question I'm going to be answering today. Is there a difference in the quality? So I've done a few comparison videos before and you guys seem to enjoy them. So I thought, why not do another one? So first I have to give massive thanks to Laura, because it's actually, the puzzles are hers and she arranged for them to be delivered to me. And then the second person I wanted to thank is Becca, who is the person who brought the puzzles from the States to Spain. So everyone can thank them for having this video today, because, you know, no Springbok in Slovenia. And now let me show you the puzzles. Representing the new cut is a 500-piece puzzle called Pencil Pushers, and representing the old cut is also a 500-piece puzzle, and this one is called Jelly Beans. So let's start at the beginning. As you can see, the boxes are already completely different. So this is the actual, like, official Springbok puzzle box. Can I say that? I don't know, but it's the square box that you see everywhere. Every time someone mentions Springbok, this is the box that I get in my head. And then this one, the new one, it's more traditional puzzle box. I would have to say that this is definitely easier for storage, and obviously it's smaller as well. It's gonna fit with other boxes too. So just the first opinion straight from the boxes, this one is definitely more convenient, but this one looks like there's a more thought put into the puzzle. Like even the sides of the puzzle box are marked really nicely, when this one is more generic, if I can say that. There is also odes to jelly beans. They say they have good beans in Boston and also in Lima, Peru, but beans made of jelly are best for my belly, so those are the kind that I chew. I'm not going to read all of it because it's a bit too long, but if you want to do it, you can just pause the video and continue when you're done. And now the more important thing is actually how the cut is going to be. So like I mentioned, I've done one of the Springbok puzzles before, and I was not pleased with the way it was cut. Like the puzzle stayed together really well, but the cut was just so like ragged, if that's the right word to use for that. So it definitely wasn't as pleasant to put it together because of that, and also it didn't give off like a good quality vibe, if that makes sense. So that's why we are gonna start with quality check. So the first thing I noticed is that the new puzzle has a picture that is more pixelated. So I'm not sure if this is specific for this puzzle or every puzzle, so I can't answer that. And the second thing I noticed immediately is that the newer puzzle has thinner cardboard. Now moving on to the cut, which was the most annoying thing I experienced when doing the Springbok for the first time. And I can see the difference already here with this puzzle, that the older cut has nicer edges than the newer one. So I'm genuinely not sure if that's connected to the cardboard, because like I mentioned, it's a different type of cardboard. You can see that from the back as well. They've got different colors. So I'm not sure what is it connected to, but it feels like the top is the same with both of the pieces, which means that probably the front they're using the same, but maybe because they changed the cardboard, or maybe they removed the layer. Maybe that's why it gets more torn off. This puzzle was already assembled, so probably from that sense I'm not gonna experience as much trouble as I did with the one Springbok I did, which was fully new, and there was a lot of pieces that were still connected. I had to rip them apart, so I'm sure that that's not gonna be the case with this one, as it's already been assembled. But yeah, so far just from looking at them, I can already say that this one would be better quality, so the old one, which is a shame. Like, why would you change the quality if it was so good? I mean, I know the prices go up and you have to make a living out of it, I get that, but you know, it's just a shame. That's all. And now I have something else to mention that I forgot to say before. So I found a leaflet. Well, there's actually 3 of them in here. Probably they're original papers that were in the box when it arrived, when it was bought. So these are like the papers in there, and it says on the box, well, on the box, and it says on the paper June 1st, 1988. So I'm gonna count that this puzzle is 1988, so this is the year it's gonna represent. And the reason why I like to put the year next to a puzzle is because sometimes they change a lot, like throughout the years. So it's not just old and new cut, it can be, you know, old, fairly old, newer, you know, new, brand new, this year's new. There is many different cuts. So this one is gonna be 1988. And with this one, I found it on the puzzle box and it says 2021. So you basically have over 20 years between those puzzles. And also another thing that I have to tell you now before I dive into puzzling is that I've already assembled this puzzle last year, actually, when Victor was here, because when he arrived, he came about, I think, 2 hours before Stein and Rode. And I had to go pick them up to the airport. And he said he's never in his life done Springbok. And he really wanted to try it. So now this is going to be like a proof of how well Springbok puzzles stay together. But we kind of left the puzzle assembled because it wasn't easy. You know, Victor said that. So if it came from Victor, you must know that I'm not lying. So it was definitely not easy. I hope that's going to stay. So we kept it together and we just put it into 4 sections. So in the beginning, it was just me and Victor, and then Stein and Roll joined in as well. So we all finished the puzzle together. It's such a beautiful puzzle, and it was so enjoyable to put it together because I wasn't speedrunning it. I wasn't really speedrunning the other one, but I was just doing it by myself and I just wanted to get it done with, you know, for the video and try it out. But this time it was just us, we were talking, we were enjoying putting it together, but still it was quite difficult. So I was really thinking like, should I assemble it again or do I just keep it together? I haven't decided because I did get a taste of doing the puzzle because I've done the top section. Let me just put it together. Need to make some space. I'm not sure if that's gonna stay now because I took the puzzle out. Okay, so if I just quickly put it together. I don't actually remember which section I was doing. Was it the red one? I think, no, Victor was doing the red one at the bottom. So we started at the top. I was doing the green and yellow section. And it was so enjoyable to put together, I'm not even lying. Even though I'm not used to the random cut, yeah, this is the one thing that I know the difference between now. So ribbon grid cut is when the edges of the pieces are connected. So, you know, all the pieces, 4 pieces are connected, like in the middle. That's a grid cut puzzle, but with this one, this is random cut, which means that anything can be anywhere. And I'm definitely not used to that cut. But it was just so enjoyable, this puzzle in general. Like I mentioned, I don't know if it's because we were doing it together and we were talking and, you know, we had so much fun putting it together. It was funny because we were all hungry and it's like, we're not going anywhere until we finish the puzzle and we were all just puzzling. And we didn't sign the pieces with this puzzle because it's like an old-timer, so I would feel wrong for doing it. And now that I have this one completed, I just have to do that one and we can compare them side by side. I have to admit the sorting became a lot more difficult for me than it used to be because I'm just not used to doing it anymore. So in the beginning I didn't really know what to do, like should I sort it based on like the pencils together and then the water together, should I separate the frame? Yeah, it was really confusing, but then I just decided to do like the bigger chunks of color together. I didn't want to go into too much detail because when you have multiple colors on the same piece, it's always really difficult to know which pile to put it on. So I just did a rough sort between yellow, red, green and blue, and then separated it into smaller water waves and the bigger ones. And I think this sorting should be good enough for me to have a really easy and enjoyable experience with the puzzle. I always forget how satisfying it is to have everything sorted by color and then, you know, have space to work on the table. So I'm really looking forward to putting this puzzle together because in the beginning it felt like there's going to be quite a lot going on, but I think from now on it should be very simple to move forward, especially if I did the sorting well. That's the one thing that it's really different between speed puzzling and just normal puzzling, because with speed puzzling you kind of don't want to waste time sorting the puzzle because it does take a while, especially if you want to do detailed sorting, which I kind of half did it now. I could have just gone like, for instance, if I was at the competition with this puzzle, what I would do was like an easy sort, which would basically be all the yellows, all the reds, all the greens, all the blues together. That's like an easy sort. Then what I did now was like a semi-detailed sort, I guess, where I separated every color into 3 different piles, like I mentioned. So I've done like the pens, and then I've done the, I don't even know, like the small waves of water and then the bigger waves of water. So I did 3 sections. But then if I wanted to go into fully detailed sort, which is normally the case if you really, I don't know, if you're doing a large puzzle, if it's quite easy to separate or something, and you really want to make the piles as small as possible, then in that sense, I would, for instance, make an extra pile for pieces that have 2 colors. So I would make a pile for green and blue, and then I would also make a pile for green and yellow. That would be like, you know, 2 more piles. So imagine that would be quite a lot more piles, but in that sense, you basically are almost doing like a puzzle in lines. This again is possible with a puzzle like that because it's actually separated in lines, sort of. If you have a different kind of puzzle that has all the colors everywhere, that's obviously a lot more difficult to do, if not impossible. So yeah, that's like the 3 stages of sorting, I guess. So I've done the middle, the semi-sort, half-detailed sort. I don't know what the best name for it would be. And even that is definitely going to make my life easier. So I can't wait to tackle this puzzle. Doing the semi-detailed sort for this puzzle was super beneficial because it allowed me to just start the puzzle in one section and continue going on as the picture goes. And it was a lot easier than I expected, I have to say that. For some reason I thought it's gonna take me a bit longer because I had a different perception of how big each pencil is, I guess. I thought it's gonna be more pieces per pencil, if that makes sense. So that wasn't the case, and that made it so much easier, you have no idea. I kinda regret not timing myself on it now. I mean, how easy was that? It took me about 20 minutes to do the sorting. But this, it took me less than 15. I don't know exactly how much, because the only reason I know it took me less than 15 is because I have the, what is it called, the time-lapse set, and I've got it to take a picture every second, and after 15 minutes, I've run out of 900 images, so it stops automatically, and I had to stop it myself, which means it was less than 15 minutes. I'm gonna have to put the time together at the end of the video because it's insane. So far, I have to say that I'm absolutely loving this puzzle. Like, I know it's got its minuses that we spoke about before, and you can feel like even when putting the pieces in, you know how I said with the other puzzle that I had when I had to like rip the pieces apart? So I can see on this puzzle already that there are sections when the puzzle is kind of like prickly, so you can see that it has been pushed, well, separated, I think, by force. Obviously, I'm not gonna say that that's the case because the puzzle wasn't mine before, but I remember I experienced the same thing with the strawberry puzzle, the berry puzzle that I had. And this is same with this puzzle, which is not the case with the other puzzle. Other than that, I'm absolutely loving the puzzle. Like I mentioned, it's so enjoyable to put together. I'm not even bothered by random cut because the picture is so easy there. You could probably give me a fully standard puzzle for this image and it would still be easy. So I'm really looking forward to see how the bottom half is gonna go. I'm sure it's gonna be more difficult because it doesn't have like straight clear lines, but still I did the sorting quite well, so I don't think it should be that bad. The bottom part definitely wasn't as easy at the top, but I was kind of getting on with it as long as I still had the small waves of the water. But as soon as I got to the bigger chunks of color, it got really complicated, especially between green and yellow. I don't know what it was there, but I think because the mix-up is the biggest, because it goes like literally almost halfway through the pattern, it just made it so much more difficult because I didn't really know what to follow, and sometimes I thought, oh, if it's still got green on it, definitely it has to be on that side, but then I saw the picture and I realized that it goes actually quite far into the yellow. After that section it was definitely easier than before, but nothing compared to the top section. The top section literally flew by, like I mentioned, it was less than 15 minutes. The bottom section, it was definitely over 15 minutes because I had to press record again, but not for much. I have to say that after I did the green and the yellow one, the red section became quite a lot easier again because it had a lot of quite specific sections of color. Okay, so we've got both of the puzzles here. So 1988 compared to 2021. And I have to say, basically everything I've said so far stays with the puzzles. And I don't think I've got that much more to add to that. It just didn't feel right that I would deprive you of the time lapse of making this beautiful puzzle because it's so colorful. So after I was done filming, I decided I'm gonna tackle these beasts again, even though I know how difficult it was the first time around. But it just goes to show how much I love you, because it took me twice the amount of time for this puzzle than for the other puzzle, which just goes to show that picture is so important. So this puzzle proves 2 points to me. First of them being how important the image is, and then the second one being how important the cut is. I'm really not used to having random cuts, and that's definitely more confusing when putting the puzzle together, especially when the image is difficult as well. But I'm really happy that I redid the puzzle, because now I can fully understand how difficult it was, because when I was doing it with other people it did not feel difficult at all. But now it might end up on the most difficult puzzles of the year list. Well, I hope not. Well, I hope yes. Because if not, it means I'm gonna go through more difficult puzzles. But anyway, I hope the time lapse was worth me going through the puzzle again. If I just gently brush over the puzzles, this one is very smooth compared to that one. Like I mentioned, it gets a bit stuck. It's really difficult to explain that because I can't, you can't touch the puzzle, but it's like going through it, you can feel that it's got rough edges, when with this one is very smooth to stroke. So the pickup challenge, right? We always have to do that. So we already know that this one holds together really well because I've already lifted it up. So even if I move it around, it just stays together super. Honestly. This one, now I haven't actually tried to do the pickup challenge yet, but I think it's gonna stay together well because I've already done one Springbok and it stayed together well. So this is the new one. Definitely when I shake it, oh, I don't know if you can see, but it started to, from the back, maybe you're gonna see better, it started to kind of give way a little bit. So from that sense, yeah, definitely not as good as the other one. But pickup challenge is not really like a definition of if the puzzle is good. I know it's good if it stays together, like it cannot be crumbly, because if it's crumbly, it's very difficult when you're assembling the puzzle. But if it actually can be lifted up and stay together in the air, it doesn't really do much for the enjoyment of the puzzling, if that makes sense, for like the duration of the puzzling. So this year I decided I'm gonna do something special. It's not, I don't know if it's special, but you know how I do end of year puzzle brand reviews? So I decided I'm kind of gonna have like a guideline of what's important in the puzzle. So far what I put in is how clear the picture is, how clean the cut is, puzzle dust, what else did I add? How thick the puzzle is. I mean, the thickness itself is not that important, it's just as long as it's not too thin, and then it's very easily damageable. And what else did I put on? I've got quite a few things. Did I mention puzzle dust already? Well, puzzle dust anyway. I did put pickup challenge, which is only an extra, but I can still have it there. What else was there? I think I put the price on as well, because price is also important when rating the puzzle brand, because if some puzzle brand is really expensive and the quality is not in ratio with the price, then it's not great, if that makes sense. So yeah, I forgot everything that I've put on that list by now because I wasn't expecting to talk about it in this video. But if there is anything that you think it's important for me to look out for when I'm rating puzzle brands, let me know now. Just write in the comments so I can add it onto my list, so then every time I try a new puzzle brand I can just mark everything down, and then it's going to be so much easier at the end of the year to actually remember what was going on with each of the brand. Oh, I put the cut as well. I think I put if it's like a variety of pieces I put. Oh, and there's another thing that I can do if it's a grid cut puzzle or if it's random cut puzzle. This is also another thing that I can add, because it's just, then people can make their own decision. I'm just gonna make like a a cute little thing that's gonna mark things down, and yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be helpful when doing the review next year. So these are the first 2 puzzles of the year. Well, technically this one was assembled last year, but I didn't post it because I couldn't reveal it until now. So yeah, so exciting. Oh my god, I haven't been puzzling at all. Well, I have been. I've been doing the 6K puzzle, but because I'm not finishing it, it doesn't feel like I've actually done anything. So, woo! Exciting. Sorry. It's just that the puzzles are so cool. Like I was really enjoying them. Okay, this one was quite difficult, but still, because I was doing it with other people, it was so much more enjoyable because of that. But this one is just, the image is brilliant. It was so easy to assemble. It kind of makes me want to do it now for like a speed run, just to see if I can maybe get my new personal best with it. But I have to say that the random cuts, yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be helpful with that. But yeah, I just wanted to thank Laura and Becca again for, you know, basically making this video happen. So thank you so much, Laura, for sending the puzzle to Becca, and Becca for bringing them over. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna try to do more leisure puzzling this year because I think the speed puzzling took over a little bit. So I hope you're gonna enjoy what I've got in store for you. And of course, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye! So I've done a few... So I would make a pile for red and blue. Red. And I did not sign any of the pieces because I thought this is like a old timer. Can you say that?